Let's do this. We are now recording. I'm going on.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Emma Hutchinson Elementary School Go Team Meeting, where we will follow the agenda that has been previously emailed to you and publicly noticed. I would like to remind everyone this is a meeting of the Go Team. Only members of the Go Team may participate. Any members of the public present are here to quietly observe. For the members of the Go Team, please identify yourself when you speak. I am pleased to call this meeting to order at 5:01 p.m. Our first order of business is to call roll. Secretary Lundy will take roll.
Yes, good afternoon. When I call your name, please say present. Melissa St. Joy,
Present.
Antonio Cousins, Erica Willis, Bria Lundy, present. Courtney Manning,
Present.
Akithia Atkinson,
Present.
Brenda Williams, Zakaya Lascott,
Present. This team will only be able to take official action if a quorum is present. Ms. Lundy, do we have a quorum present?
no.
All right, we do not have a quorum present for this meeting today. We needed a majority of Go Team members in attendance to vote on the agenda items. Having a quorum protects the school by preventing a very small number of members from taking action on behalf of the entire school. We will proceed with today's discussion and information items. Action items will be tabled until a quorum is established. So we will move to the discussion.
Okay,
All right.
so I'm going to share my screen with you all. Oops. Is everyone able to see the slideshow?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so, and I'm gonna have to toggle between two presentations because there were a couple of things going on, so just bear with me when I have to make that switch. But I'm gonna go over our SIP, our Continuous Improvement Plan 45-day check-in, our school strategic plan that was written by the Go Team from last year. So I'm gonna share the plan as is. I've also did a draft of the plan where I kind of just did some revamping because as I read through it from last year, we just had some things that overlapped or they were kind of in the wrong place. So I kind of did some highlighting and bolding, trying to explain kind of how things could move along. And then we'll discuss the strategic plan in progress and then updates to the strategic plan as necessary. And then we'll go from there. So we are here, which is utilizing the current data. The Go Team will review possible updates to strategic plans and priorities in the plan. And I'm looking both ways because I'm using multiple screens. And before winter break, we'll be able to vote on the strategic plan. So this is our quarterly check-in. Questions to consider is based on our long-term continuous improvement plan, what actions have been completed by the school, and what data supports the completion of the actions. So I'm going to share that with you on the next couple of slides. So I hope it's big enough for you guys to see, but I was trying to get all the information in there. But from our continuous improvement plan, one of the first goals we had was at the conclusion of this school year that our 3rd through 5th graders scoring in the beginning category will decrease by 5% and our proficiency will increase by 3% on the Georgia milestones at the end of the year. As I go through goal 1 and goal 2, they mirror each other, and it's because they're based on tier 1 instruction. But we created and implemented a PD calendar for staff around, or PDs for staff around data meetings, actively participating in monitoring the implementation weekly. So we completed the PD in September, and the meetings are taking place now ongoing. In addition, they are also stamped on our school calendar. They take place every Wednesday and Thursday, and every grade level participates, as well as the instructional leadership team. And members of support staff are able to attend one meeting at some point during the day. Implementation and monitoring on the consistent expectations around ReadyGen and Foundations Phonics that takes place weekly. Again, that time is for lesson internalization and checking in on their plans is stamped into the schedule, and teachers have checked in with the instructional coaches to ensure that things are moving. If things are not, how do we kind of address those gaps? So it's an ongoing discussion. And I said it's ongoing. The CELT will conduct weekly observations and provide feedback. Ms. Atkinson does that here. She checks in with all the special education teachers, and that's to ensure that we're supporting all populations. Although special education students have written goals, also ensuring that they're doing the work to support instructional standards. Ms. Atkinson meets with me bi-weekly to talk about what's going on and ensure any supports are needed. And we implement school-wise personalized learning and goal setting. We created a professional development for staff around that, and the professional development took place in September. All students identified their goals by the end of the month, and they actually had the opportunity for parents that came to our parent meeting to share those goals with parents, and it is a space in which the teachers go back to. Things that are kind of ongoing and in progress is, again, we're conducting the meetings. We did the professional development about it, but we're conducting and analyzing student work to create reteach plans, internalizing lesson plans and units to ensure cohesiveness of instruction, and implementing coaching and feedback cycle, and hopefully giving, it's not perfect science, but always trying to give teachers feedback within 48 hours, especially if it's something that needs to be enhanced or an area of support, and making sure that they get those feedbacks. So there's no pending actions from the first line of our SIP, first goal rather. Second goal, it really mirrors everything in the first. The exception is that we're using Eureka Math and not ReadyGen. So using that math support, but everything that we're doing is the same. And the purpose of that, when we created this continuous improvement plan, sometimes you can be, what's the phrase? A jack of all trades and master of none. So we could have done a whole different set of things, but at the end of the day, it's instructional best practices and getting cohesiveness practices within our school. So for goal 1 and 2, they're basically the same. The only difference is that we're using Eureka Learning here. For goal number 3, at the conclusion of the 2023 school year, the percentage of students in kindergarten through 5th not chronically absent will increase by a minimum of 5%. So essentially getting students here. Last year, 54% of our students were not chronically absent. We're really excited because with these measures, I will tell you right now, we're at 74%, which is way past the goal. So we're already rocking and rolling here. But we implement and have weekly attendance incentive plans. We establish a care team meeting that meets weekly every Monday to facilitate. So in this plan, it was written at 10 a.m. for our SIP plan. It actually takes place at 9 a.m. every Monday morning. And implement monitor weekly personalized attendance plan for students with chronic absences. So the care team basically targets like who's chronically absent. Kids are categorized by they're here well over 90% of the time. They are somewhere, if they're absent one day, they may drop below 90 or they'll increase. So we have those identified, and we have kids that may be have chronic absences. So we definitely look at the kids in the middle first to ensure that they're here so many times that we push them over to the over 90% space. And that's the work that the care team does. Action steps that are in progress, and I apologize for not putting the completed anticipation date, but before I send this presentation to you. They're essentially all ongoing. We did the BASC assessment. We take that at different points within the school year. We'll take it again in the spring. But this is basically a universal screener to screen for emotional behavior, to identify student needs in small group counseling. That's also addressed at the care team, and any kids that are in need of support of counseling, they have been receiving those services. Implement small group counseling sessions, again, conduct bi-weekly Title I meetings with curriculum experts. That's actually supposed to go on to the second, that's on the wrong slide, and I apologize for that. I'll correct that as well. But those last 2 points actually go into our last slide, which is family engagement. There are no completed actions in family engagement, but there are things that are taking place. We're doing monthly Title I meetings. They take place during the day. We brought in experts from the district to meet with parents to do things like show them how to use the parent portal. We partnered with the Atlanta Food Bank. Every month, they've given out fresh produce to people in our community. We've created a monthly scooting calendar. You can see it on our website. It goes home at the beginning of every month, and it has all the activities in the school as well as all the standards being addressed by grade level, so parents are aware of what's going on. And our parent liaison participates in those care team weekly meetings, simply so she can support with getting the kids in school and any supports that families need, in conjunction with the social worker and the counselor. The last thing that I have for pending on our school improvement plan, we wrote that we would sponsor 2 PBL nights. Well, we have changed that since then, and it has changed to APT nights, which is the academic parent teacher teams meetings that will take place. And when I do my principal's report, I'll explain fully what that is, but it is a different look on how a parent teacher conference looks, and it is a team meeting that focuses on foundational skill excuse me, to support parents and working with the teacher to support instruction. So those are all the things we have on our continuous improvement plan. For our strategic plan progress, I actually just posted our strategic plan as is right now. I'm going to come out of this presentation shortly to show you kind of the revamps on it, because there were just some things that we had on this plan that it was just a lot of information. It was on 2 slides. So for example, our strategic plan should have actually been from till 2025. Throughout this plan, we have 2022. There are spaces where we have information about CIS. That's not a program that we have anymore. There's also space in here where it has things like OG for Orton Gillingham. That's not a program that we are using here. So I kind of went through this plan and kind of flushed some of this information out. Also, certain things were overlapping. So if I go back to the previous slide, under 5C, under building culture of support for school, 5C, that focuses on STEM curriculum. Well, STEM curriculum should have been under the top part where it's fostering academic excellence, because that's where signature program falls. So that was some of the things that I noticed in the strategic plan. So I'm going to switch out of this presentation for just a moment. And what I did, stop sharing here. All right, do you guys now see where it says strategic plan? And you see the highlights?
Yes.
Not
Okay.
yet. Oh, there it is.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I went through and I kind of highlighted things that were either redundant or where we had to remove verbiage, or it kind of needed to be reworded. So if you look under the first one, we had math, ELA, I said add science. Oh, let me look at, I'm sorry. I started on the second one. So for the first thing, under our SMART goals, I said that we should change this BAS goal to our attendance goal, because then it would be in line with our continuous improvement plan. We don't have a goal around BASC, but BASC is one of the tools that we use to support the things taking place in both plans through counseling services and care teams. So it should be embedded in the strategies and not as an actual goal, because that's something that we're doing. So that, and also a recommendation I have for us to revamp is adding the family engagement plan, because that wasn't on our plan for last year. I have that rewording, because right now we just kind of had improved mastery core content. I suggested that we reword it to improve the percent of students achieving proficient and distinguished level on the Georgia milestones. It just more solid. And the same thing with STEM. Our goal is to have our certification by 2025. So kind of stamping that in there. There were certain bullets that they were just in the wrong place. So for example, 1B said follow district to implement intervention block of HMH, but that should be under whole child and intervention. So I put moving to building culture of support. And so I have kind of notes through here, and I basically highlighted what was really important to keep in my thoughts, and I left blank the things that were just kind of either redundant or were kind of based on whether funding was here. So for example, if you look at 1D, Study Island is great, but Study Island may not be consistent till 2025 because it's a program that we buy independently as a school. So I can't guarantee that that's going to be here because the funding source may change. So things like that I kind of didn't highlight. So what I did want to do is kind of send this to the team. So everybody can kind of look at, but the highlighted things we are definitely doing here. I'm going to go back to the other presentation, because what I did do is I pulled out all the information and I just bulleted it so we could just read it in its entirety instead of with all the highlight notes that I had. So I'm going to stop sharing again. Go back to the last presentation. Yeah. So strategic plan again without all the highlights. So I will email you the plan with all the highlights. Okay. So are all the SIP goals reflected on our strategic plan? If not, what SIP goals are missing and should be added? So the things that I thought were missing was the goal setting of the students was not clearly reflected on our strategic plan, and the family engagement priorities were not clearly outlined on our strategic plan. What progress has been made toward the priorities identified in the strategic plan, and what evidence and data do you have? I bulleted it right here. So these are all the things in the strategic plan that I could say without reservation, these things are happening at Hutchinson Elementary. So I'll just give you a moment to read through it. I won't read through the whole thing. And if you can just give me a thumbs up after you've perused it. Okay. Are we good? Okay. Thank you. Ladies, we're all ladies. And based upon the available data, Are there any adjustments you would need to make to the strategic plan? So again, earlier I said on our current strategic plan, we have that it stops at 2022. It should have actually read that it stopped at 2025. So I said that the things that we need to kind of adjust is percentages of SMART goals should reflect a 3% increase each year. So a total of 9% from where we are right now at baseline. The way it read on the plan, if you look, it's actually based on where we were pre-pandemic 2019, which is not where we are because last year was the first time they took a test and it's kind of like a baseline. So we're growing from there. So the 3% increase currently as a school, it was 8% of our third, fourth, and fifth graders were displaying proficiency in ELA, and 14% were displaying proficiency and above in mathematics. So I'm saying a 3% increase for a total of 9% by 2025 minimum. Of course, we can knock it out the park, but that is one of the things that I think needs to be adjusted on the strategic plan. So in totality, with all the stuff I just said, the updates I think definitely need to be added to the strategic plan, where the SIP attendance goals, family engagement, combining the goals that overlap and are redundant. STEM goals will be reached by 2025, and removing initiatives that are no longer at Hutchinson. So I'm going to escape out of this in case any Go Team members have any other adjustments based on the information that I shared in the report that we should consider for making updates and adjustments to the strategic plan. If you don't have any, just say so. And what I'm going to do, of course, I'm going to email this slide. I'll email the slide with the highlights as well as I work to update that strategic plan. I will share with everybody before December, so everybody can definitely go through it before, because December ideally would be when we kind of vote on it before we get into the budget season in January.
Okay. And if we, Ms. St. Joy, if we have to have a work session, if we have just a few questions that we are concerned with once review, is it okay to set up, contact you to set up a work session?
Yes, ma'am.
Or something?
Yep. All right.
All right. If no one else has any further comments, we will move on to the information item. Thank you, St. Joy.
All right. It's me again. I'm going to stop sharing and start sharing again. All right. Does everyone see the principal's report? All right. The biggest update is that our MAP testing window begins. We were very proud walking into this first fall testing window. When our kids tested in the fall, we could see the increase that our kids and the gains have made from last fall, and we hope to continue those increases during this window. The biggest thing is that we need kids here ready and present to take the test. The Atlanta Public Schools window starts tomorrow, but here at Hutchinson, we will start testing on Monday. So there'll be a week for reading, a week for math, and a week for fluency. Over the year, academic year to academic year, we have demonstrated growth, and we hope to again translate that growth to proficiency, and we're seeing a lot of positive things in our school this year. But the things that we're doing in our building, so we're building a culture of success with MAP. Again, the students have their goals, so they had set goals for themselves before this test. The teachers will be doing daily pep talks with the students, pie in the face, students that the top scorers get to pick somebody on staff to throw a pie in their face. I opt out of that celebration, but I take the pictures. Attendance matters. We do celebrate the kids that are here for that week. So there is an attendance incentive for the week of reading, the week of math, and the week of fluency. Last time we did our popcorn. Your attendance is popping, and we gave them popcorn. They got snow cones. So we'll be doing something similar to that, and perfect attendance celebrations for the classroom, just to get them here, keep them motivated to take the test. And I think the goal setting that the teachers have done, there are lots of students that are very accountable, and it's also promoting student voice within our building in our school. So it's been a great addition. This month at Hutchinson, these are some of the activities we have going on. Something that was not on this version of the calendar I had, but was on the version that went out, is that the food bank is next week on the 15th. Teacher Professional Learning Day is November 8th, but that is also voting day. There's no kids in school. We have field trips. We have a special celebration for our parent liaison. She does a lot to get our parents in the building, and school will be closed the week of Thanksgiving break. We do sell ice cream for students again, and these are just some of the things we're going on. So all the parents got this communication, which was one of the things in our strategic plan, but behind it, it also had all the standards. So they get this every month. Cluster chats on November 15th, our superintendent, Dr. Lisa Herring, will be having a cluster chat, and it will take place for staff from 5 to 6 p.m. and for families and communities from 6:30 to 7:30, and it will be at South Atlanta High School. She is doing this in every single cluster. So the date for our cluster is November the 15th, and all are welcome to engage with Dr. Herring on some of the strategic things that she is doing with the administration. She is charging principals with doing, and we're all working together to move Atlanta Public Schools forward. And this conversation will specifically focus on the needs and the movement of the South Atlanta cluster. So we definitely encourage all to attend. I will be there, so I hope to see you guys there too. Hazel Health has partnered with Atlanta Public Schools to provide access to quality healthcare services to all students at no cost to families this school year. This is a telehealth program. The representative has come, and the representative has trained our Nurse Hutchinson, our counselor, Dr. Rao, as well as our social worker, Ms. Freeman, on their services. So I have the QR code in case anybody wants to kind of click on. But parents can sign up, and they can get same day services here. We have already isolated, and we have an area in the school identified for Hazel Health Services. They have given us 2 iPads to do the consultation if need be that happen. But again, this is a great service that Atlanta Public Schools is providing. It can be, you can get all the information off the district website. And this is just a way to remove barriers for our families in case they need any physical or mental health services. Academic parent teacher teams. We had our first academic parent teacher teams meeting. It was the 27th of October. The purpose is for teachers and parents to partner to enhance student achievement. This has been one of the things that we talked a lot about on Go Team, and definitely heard those conversations. So we did this model where we work together, we share student data, and we set goals. These are some of the pictures that we were able to capture. We had 65 parents in attendance, and we are very happy about that. 65. And the funny thing was that on the parent letter, that's great, isn't it? On the parent letter, I said, if your parent can't come, designate somebody in your family. Some people interpreted that as bring your whole family. So there were actually more than 65 people that were here, but only, of people who had enrolled children, those are the only people who we kind of did a sign in for. So we provided food. So they were, after they went to the classrooms, they were allowed to, get dinner to go which was a spaghetti dinner. We also provided childcare. So applause to our enrichment teachers. We had in our library, we turned it into a gaming room and an art room. So they colored and we set up all these video games that they could play. And then the gym became a movie room. So that support staff was able to provide childcare. So again, removing a barrier, remove the dinner barrier and the childcare barrier. We also thank you to our school district for supporting us in removing barriers. We reached out to get some money from the World Languages Department to come translate from our parents who may not be English speakers. So they were able to still connect with their teachers. And we had 3 people throughout the building. Our Spanish teacher supported in 2nd and 3rd, the district interpreter supported in 4th and 5th, and our parent liaison, who is also a Spanish speaker, supported in the lower grades. So we were able to have them to float and step in the conversation when they needed to. But all parents created a make and take, something that they could take home and focus on a foundational skill that they could work on at home. I am very proud that so many parents attended. I'm very proud that the teachers felt positively about it. I'm very proud that the parents felt positively about it. And we plan on doing another one in January is the next scheduled one. I know how important it was to a lot of the Go Team discussions that we had last year around bringing parents in, and as COVID restrictions have lightened, even though COVID's still real, we were able to safely bring people in and create an enjoyable experience. So very proud of this. And the last thing I have is the next Go Team meeting is December the 1st, in which I will send out that information. I think it would be good if we stamped a day for any feedback, so I can kind of put it in that plan. So hopefully we could be ready to vote before that December 1st meeting. And that concludes my report.
All right, thank you so much, St. Joy. Lots of awesome things happening at Hutchinson. It's so wonderful to hear all those things. That was a lovely report. Amazing,
Thank you.
amazing. I think we're off to a very strong start and continuing. So that's great. Great to hear. At this time, we will move on to announcements. Any announcement at this time? Any important events or dates happening? Was mentioned?
Food bank that we will have. Miss Williams sent me a text message. She apologized. She had a personal emergency, so she was not able to attend. So she apologized for that. I would just like a date. Once I'll send you guys an email by tomorrow of all the stuff we discussed, but a date to kind of gather any feedback. Can we maybe do November 11th? Does that sound reasonable? That's a week.
Yes.
So that should be, that's fine.
Okay.
With me, November for that.
So if there's any feedback based on the documents that I send you, and then I'll compile it, and then I will set a goal of by November 18th, I will email you the template, the updated template that I've been working in. And then so everybody can read it before December 1st.
December 1st. Great. That'll work. Yeah. All righty. So if there is no further announcements beside what Ms. St. Joy have mentioned, we have reached the end of the agenda.
I'm sorry, Ms. Lescott. I just
go
want to apologize. There are five of us, so we did have a quorum. And I don't think we did move to approve the minutes.
Oh, okay.
We can, we can go back to approve the minutes. Hello.
I think it was.
Hey, it's Chandra. I was just checking to see because I don't, are there 5 Go Team members on the call?
Yes. You're 6.
I see Ms. Lundy, Ms. Lescott, Ms. Atkinson.
Miss Manning is on the Galaxy phone.
Okay, that's 4.
Okay. I'm here. Ms. Lundy, who is the next?
Oh, I don't
I'm
count.
sorry.
'Cause I
Ms.
don't
Joy
vote.
does not count. So no, we do not. Thank you.
We do not. Okay.
Thank you for that, Ms. Gibson.
Thank you.
No
Ms. Gibson.
problem.
So we'll
Alright.
proceed as is to concluding the agenda since we do not have a quorum present for this meeting. And this brings us to the end of our agenda. Are there any additional business at this time prior to closing? Okay, if not, may I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I motion to,
Go ahead, Lundy.
I motion to adjourn the meeting at 5:35.
May I have okay, may I have a second to that motion?
I second the motion.
Who's speaking? That second the motion?
Manning.
Manning, okay.
Courtney. Yes, yes.
Oh, no problem. Thank you. Just as confirming. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any abstentions? All right, this concludes our meeting. Meeting is adjourned at 5:36 p.m.
Thank you. I will stop recording.